All right, good morning, class. So today we are going to begin our novel study. Our novel study is right here. It's one of my favorites. It's Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. I think you guys will like it just because of the imagery, the way it's written, the word choices that are involved in it. But I think the number one thing that you are going to like about this book is, as you can see, it's very thin. There's not a lot of material in this book. It's very short. We'll get through it really quickly. I think you guys will appreciate and like that. It is literary dense. It's not easy material, but it's fast material and it reads really well. It is not broken up into chapters. We have a start, a middle, and an end. We meet some interesting characters along the way. We have an interesting character development going on. There's a lot of metaphors about life in general, a lot of metaphors about humans and nature and determination. One of the main themes about this book that I like so much is the willingness, the determination that we are introduced to, just that never give up spirit from Santiago, the old man in the story. I think you're going to like it. So the standard that we are covering when we introduce this novel is going to be about determining themes and central ideas of a text. And you guys are going to be able to analyze the development over the course of the novel, including the relationships to characters, setting, and plot, and be able to provide a summary of what you read, of what's actually going on, okay? So by the end of class today, students will be able to read or, using your devices, listen to the audio version of this book. If that's the choice you make, you can use the technology, listen to the reading of the book. If that's what you choose, if you want to go old school, the way I like to do it, actual physical copy of the book, either way works for me. Whatever works for you the best. If you're not locked into one choice or the other. If you start with the actual copy and like, oh, it's too difficult, I want to listen to it instead, we'll make that switch. That's not a problem. You just kind of pick up. You can either pick up from the start, listen to it from the beginning. If some of the text was a little too difficult for you to grasp, that's fine. Or vice versa. If you start listening to it and you decide, you know what, this is not for me, I want to read this, that's fine too. Just pick up the book and start from there. Either way works. Regardless, at the end of class today, we're going to have an exit ticket on reading comprehension. You guys will score at least 80% on those 10 questions. That means 8 out of 10. You got to get 8 out of 10 right. I know you guys put the work in. That's not going to be an issue today, okay? I don't have any doubts about any of your abilities to answer or score 80% at least on today's exit ticket. As a matter of fact, I expect everyone's going to get 100s on this one because we're going to pay attention to it, we're going to read it, and then we're going to discuss it, okay? One other thing that we are going to bring in is we're going to bring in technology. But this is old school technology, right? We have a textbook. How are we going to blend old school, a novel, pretty old school, right? Right? All right, good. So old school novel, what we're going to do is bring in new school technology. What I mean by that is on your laptop. So after we read this, what we're going to do, I have downloaded a Twitter app on everybody's laptop. So we are incorporating new technology into old school technology. We're combining the two, right? We're going to blend it. So today's communication style, we communicate through social media, through apps, through text, through Twitter, through whatever other social medias that you guys use that I don't even know about or don't even care to know about yet. You guys are cutting edge on technology. I'm way behind on technology. That's fine by me. But the assignment that we're going to do and work on throughout our reading of this novel is we are going to create a room, a Twitter space that what we're going to do, what the assignment for you guys is going to be, is to identify main ideas and themes and have a discussion group that only we can see in here. I can see it. You guys can see it. You're going to be adding threads to that as we read this novel. So you're going to, right now, what we've read so far, the main idea is you fill in the blank with whatever main ideas that you get out of the reading of the section of text that we're going to be reading today. And like going forward, we'll do this day by day. We'll continue to add tweets and messages to our board, to our space. If you get retweets, if you get likes, what this space is going to be is a discussion. Okay, so the things we're going to discuss, the 4 main points that we're going to discuss in our Twitter group about the novel: character, setting, main idea, and themes. So what themes you get from your reading of the text, and then so we'll have an open discussion through the Twitter threads on these 4 literary devices. So not only are we going to introduce the characters, I'm not just going to ask you I don't want you just to tell me who the characters are. What I'm looking for in your tweets are the relationships that occur between the characters. So I don't just need Santiago and Manolin. Like, everyone gets that because that's black and white in the text. I don't need you to identify them by proper name. What I want you to do is dive down into the characters and discuss in these threads what their relationships with one another are, how they interact with one another, what's going on, what character traits are we seeing from their personalities, their circumstances, how they interact with one another. That's what I'm looking for there. On setting, we know setting is what? 2 things: time and place. So this novel, I think, was written in the 1940s. The novel itself was written in the 50s or 60s. The novel takes place in 1940 Havana, Cuba. We got that, right? Everyone understands that's our time and place. What I'm looking for in the thread is how significant, how does our setting, in this case, Havana, Cuba, 1940, how does that influence our characters? In other words, can our characters in this story exist without this specific time and place, without this specific setting? How is our setting of the novel, how is that influencing our characters, right? So we're diving a little deeper into just the black and white of, yes, Havana, Cuba in the 1940s is the time and place of our novel. What I'm looking for is how that setting influences, impacts our characters. How important is the setting of our novel? The third thing, the main idea. The main idea. What is the story about? What is actually happening in our novel? What is going on with what we are reading in the section that we've read? Okay. The fourth thing that we're going to discuss in our thread is theme. I love theme. Theme is very specific, right? We could all read the same book. We'd all pretty much have the same or similar main ideas, right? Because the main idea is what is actually going on in the novel, right? Everyone's pretty much going to have the same thing. You might focus on different aspects of the main idea, but in general, everyone's main idea is going to be very similar, right? On the contrary, with themes are subjective, right? It's our interpretation of what we are reading or listening to in this case. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story, or the author's message, is theme. That's what I'm looking for here, right? So we all might have completely different themes because we're all unique individuals. We're coming at this from a different space, right? Good.